What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and the patch notes have arrived for the Athena and Lady Chen update. And yeah, there's definitely some good things in this update, but unfortunately, there's some things that Netmarble has changed, which I actually think hurts the game. I don't think it really instills any kind of good faith from the player base because they're going to look at some of these changes and be like, "What are you doing? What was wrong with the way things were before?" And we're going to get into it right now, guys. So whenever I bring up the patch notes, we're going to start off with these Demos based changes. And this is a pretty big complaint that I have as far as what they've done. So just a long story short, guys, before whenever we went to tier 50, we could get, we needed 163,500 CP in order to get it done. Now, characters with dot explosion could bypass this. We didn't need as much CP, and it remains to be seen, how well those characters with dot explosion are going to do, especially if they have the lower amount of CP against Demos base, right? But they jumped it up from 163,000 CP to 221,000 CP. And on paper, guys, this looks pretty crappy in my opinion because they've increased the CP amount, but they haven't increased the rewards. The rewards are the same as what they were before. We're getting the same amount of rubies, we're getting the same amount of materials, and we're still getting one SS and or BS generic memory. So Netmarble, you had it for us, for a while now to where we had a certain amount of CP that we needed in order to get it done to get all the way to tier 50, and you've upped the ante, you've upped the CP requirement for the same rewards. Now, how does that look? It doesn't look very good, Netmarble. It looks pretty crappy and looks pretty shady in all honesty. Now, we're going to see how it plays out, guys. We'll see how hard Demo Space is going to be, but I personally, on paper, just from looking at this, don't think this is a very good change at all, because if you're going to make things more difficult in the game, then you absolutely should be giving better rewards. If they would have jumped this up CP up this much, or even more, like say even 300,000, but they put an EX generic memory in this thing, I would have been like, you know what? It's worth it, because we're getting a memory for a, cream of the crop character. SS and BS characters are good in the game, but they are nowhere near EX characters. They're nowhere near it, and everybody knows it. So if they would have put an EX memory in here, that would have been way, way better if they're going to increase the CP requirements, or just left it the way it was and left their CP requirements at 163,000 instead of changing it. And you guys can see that, yeah, people are, pretty angry about it. They don't like it, and rightfully so. They should have never changed this. So now let's get into the other part of the update, which is the ladies, right? So we go down to the ladies, right? They're looking lovely, right? Especially Athena. And Athena is a yellow balance. Lady Chen is a red defense, which is fine, right? You see the card sets. The artwork is beautiful on these card sets. I mean, these are nice, guys. They look really, really good. You can see the 3 PGs, right? You see the option card. You see the set that's going to be in the actual banner. What details are going to be on these things? What stat effects? We don't know. Hopefully it's OP. Hopefully it's really good. Something that increases CP, damage, the whole PG rate increase. I mean, that would be pretty awesome, guys. I hope it isn't just specifically for Athena and Lady Chen, or maybe the Psycho Soldier characters, but we'll see. We'll see, right? It's always better when we have card sets that apply to everybody, but we all know that Netmarble don't do that at all times, right? Sometimes they make card sets only available to certain type of fighters. And then we have the Team Psycho Soldier set that's actually going to be in the Rush Dungeon. This is actually really cool. I love the retro sets. I think they're so cool. And then we have a paywall set that's going to be in the special shop. Now, again, before we had a set like this where they put a paywall set in there, and it was a good set, but it really didn't change anything in the game. And I honestly don't think this is going to change anything either. But guys, once again, I love the artwork. It is so good. Like, look at Shizuru and Kyo. I mean, look at their faces, guys. Like, look at them, right? I mean, it's pretty funny. It's good stuff, right? And then, of course, the typical 3 PGs, attack and critical damage and all that good stuff, right? And then we're going to, both the Lady Chen and Athena have EX available, or their EX characters. So now we can get these prime memories for them, which is fine, right? We have the new season of Chapter 5, which means more rubies, which is definitely good. We have a login event. I mean, it's an okay login event, nothing really too special in all honesty. Then we have this little event right here. And then, of course, the same old typical event, EX event codex, where, whenever you take a character to A1, you're going to get the first memory. A2, you'll get the second memory. A3, you'll get the third memory. And that's usually what players try to do. They try to get the characters to A3 so that way they can at least get the 3 imprint stones, because you can actually switch around these imprint stones on any EX character. So there might be one here that might be very applicable for one of your favorite characters that you might already have, or maybe for a character that you're waiting for in the future, or maybe they're just going to be OP on Athena. You just never know, right? I'm sure they're going to be good on Athena, but sometimes they give set memories or imprint stones that are actually good on better on other characters. But yeah, and then we scroll down here, guys. We got the tower. I really wish they wouldn't have put these rubies in here like this. I really like it when the rubies are just in here. I don't like these time restrictions and this clear without rolling crap. I personally just don't care for it, guys. I really prefer the rubies just being in here, but okay. You know, and of course, we're only going to be able to use Athena and Lady Chen in order to get it done in this thing, right? And then we go down to some packages. I'm not going to get into that, guys. I'm not going to get into these packages. And then we see something else here. And you know, if you scroll up a little fast, you will miss it because it can go by in the blink of an eye. And that is Tower of Trials is getting an additional 920 floors. And that's all good and dandy, but here's the problem with it, guys. You know, so in this update, they've increased the CPU requirements for Demospace without increasing the rewards. And on top of that, they added more floors to Tower Trials. Now, I don't have a problem with adding floors to Tower Trials. It gives something challenging in the game. Players can get some more rubies. But the thing I always hate about this game mode is, one, I mean, I don't mind that it's difficult. In fact, you know, you really want some good challenging content. You want some good in-game content. But there's no longevity to this game mode. Once you clear it, it is over. You get a one and done reward and your gratification is over. You cannot play it over and over again. We can't even play it over and again, even if we're not trying to get any rewards. And that kind of sucks. So when I see an extra floors added to Tower Trials, I'm just like, look, this doesn't really motivate or incentivize players to pull for characters because though most players know that, I mean, that they're going to spend, you know, 50,000 plus rubies because it takes 18,000 rubies to go to the end to get a pity in these banners for a limited character. 18,000. And then you still need 9,000 rubies to go to the pity for their card, right? You might not get lucky at all. Might just get that 3 PG at the very end in the pity. That is 27,000 rubies together with the banner and the card banner. 27,000 rubies. And we all know, unless you have some insane luck, that on the average, most players will go to 3 pities, maybe even 4. I mean, I usually average 3 or 4 pities most of these banners, just to A3 the character a lot of times. So, I mean, you know, if you do the math, guys, I mean, that is 54,000 rubies. 3 pities is 54,000 rubies. And then another 9,000 rubies. I mean, you're looking at over 60,000 rubies. So are you going to, now, obviously, if it's your favorite character, you're going to do that. But whenever you see these additional floors added to Tower Trials, are you really going to spend 60,000 plus rubies just to get a character that's strong enough to go to the top of Tower Trials when you're not going to get that many rubies in return, right? We already have characters that can easily do all the rest of the content in the game. Now, obviously, for a new player, maybe they're coming for the KO up, you know, for Athena. Maybe they're coming for Lady Chen. It's going to be a different story. But for most players, I mean, they're going to look at this and think, yeah, I mean, this is all good. We got some more challenging content, but we know that it's going to take a lot more CP to do this. We know that it's going to be extremely hard. And we also know that it's a one and done reward where we're not going to get as many rubies as we want. If this was a replayable game mode, and I talked about this before, this would be way, way better. But it's not. It's a one and done deal, which is unfortunate. And then they fixed some issues with some characters. I'm not going to get into all this, guys. But I mean, it's this update for me is pretty lackluster. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, I love these card sets. These card sets look awesome. We'll see about the Halloween shop set. I mean, the artwork's beautiful. The girls look great, right? I mean, I'm excited for the characters and the card sets. But these changes that they made to Demospace for the extra CPU requirement, the increase to the Tower Trials, I'm just kind of like, I mean, really the Tower Trials doesn't bother me as much, right? Except for the reasons I just explained. But this here, you know, this increasing CP for the exact same rewards, honestly, in my opinion, is kind of bullcrap. They really should have never done that. They should have just left the CP requirement the way it was before, because they're not increasing the amount of rewards or the value of the rewards that we're actually getting. So that's pretty damn disappointing that they did do that. So guys, let me know what you think about the changes to Demospace, the additions to Tower of Trials, and what do you think about the ladies and the artwork that we've seen for the cards. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GW7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody.